Now, on this Sunday, we're going to have the book of Daniel. Daniel's a kind of a strange book because there's two parts to it with two completely different styles. The first half of the book are 6 stories about Jews who are living under another government, and sometimes this government is oppressive. The second half is a completely different style. It's called apocalyptic style. It's got a lot of imagery and a lot of symbols, and it's about God being dominant. Even in the midst of these very powerful empires and these powerful nations, God is going to reign over everything. So how does all this kind of fit together? Well, let's find out. Now, the book of Daniel was put together. Now, I'm using the word put together. He didn't write the whole thing. He borrowed or he stole the stories that already pre-existed. This is a technique called midrash. Jews used to do this, and what they would do is they would take older stories and reuse them for a new purpose, for a new situation. Now, these older stories were about stories of people that were under another foreign government. And so this author finds himself and his Jewish companions under a foreign government. But this foreign government is oppressive. So now you have two choices. You have two options to how to address a situation when you're being oppressed by a foreign government. The first is you can take up arms. You can defend yourself. You can go to war with them and do battle with them and hope that God is going to be with you and save you. And that's what happens in this particular situation. The Hasmonean family gathered a bunch of other people together to fight against this oppression, and they won. They actually won. We know them as the Maccabees, so we're more familiar with the Maccabees, but they're the Hasmonean family. And they created this huge dynasty and everything. So they were very successful, and they touted the fact that this is one of the ways that you can properly address the evil situation. But there's another option, and that is this. Don't do that. Don't kill your enemy. Convert your enemy. Now, how exactly do you convert your enemy? How do you change your enemy's mind? Well, you use, by God, you use the oppression, use the suffering as an advantage for showing God off, allowing God to become visible to your enemy. And that's exactly what happens in one of these stories. The 3 young men are thrown into the furnace because they're faithful to their traditions. They're faithful to God, and they're following the laws of God. Because of that, they're thrown into this fiery furnace that's heated up 7 times. God rescues them. And right in front of Nebuchadnezzar, which is the evil ruler of the Babylonians. And not only does he convert, but the whole nation converts. So nobody dies, everyone's converted. So that's the idea here is for this book is this author wants to say that, no, there's another choice, there's a better choice here. And that is a more peaceful way of showing God to the world through our suffering and through our oppression. God will lift us up, God will bring us up. And to show to the foreigners the true God, and that they will convert, that they'll want to be a part of this. And that's really the mission of the Jews. So you have these two options, and you have they're both represented in the Bible. We have the Maccabean books, and we also have the book of Daniel, which represents another way of addressing a difficult situation. And we can learn a lot from the book of Daniel, because a lot of times we are oppressed. Sometimes we do have leaders that are more hurtful than helpful. And what do we do to that? How do we react to that? Do we respond to that by being violent, or protest, or could we use that as an advantage for showing God off by demonstrating God's qualities, His characteristics, His forgiveness, His kindness, all the things that Christ has taught us in the Gospels. So this is the book of Daniel and the situation that he was in and why the book can be very helpful to us. So this Sunday, pay attention to the details. Pay attention that God is visible. God needs to be visible. And the way God is visible is through us. We show God to the world through our suffering by allowing God to rescue us, to save us, and to show God's qualities to the world. Well, I hope that this was very helpful to you. Share it with others. And I'll see you in the next video.